Good day to all of you. Let's talk about this topic, shall we? You want to practice harmonica, but you don't want to spin your wheels. You know what I mean? You don't want to waste your time. You want to make sure that when you're practicing, you're getting the most out of it. So let's get into this topic a little bit. It's not something brand new that I've never talked about, but it's something that I kind of got a couple fresh ideas on my mind. Nothing prepared, as usual. Just want to be spontaneous today and come on and talk. I'm going to do that right now. I've got a C harmonica in case I'm using that today. So good morning to all of you. Let's stop the track. It's still going quietly in the background. That was in the key of G on a C harp, second position. Before I jump into the topic, if you want to get together and practice with me, if you want to hang out and practice together, you can do that this Sunday. Totally new concept coming your way, which involves a class that's not trying to teach you anything new. It might be, some of it might be new for you. Maybe you haven't attended all my classes, but the idea is not to teach, it's to practice. And I think I'm going to try to do 2 of these a month. I'll make this quick and then we'll get into the tips. They would be 45-minute classes for $15. You can't beat that. They're all recorded. They include notes, and we get together and we do 15 minutes per module. This coming Sunday, it's pattern recognition, bending, and bass lines. So if you like those topics and you want to go deeper, join me. I'll put the link in the video description, but I'll also pin it in the live chat real quick for everybody. So let's talk about the tips that I have. Again, nothing prepared, but I think that I can easily just start talking about this topic since this is what I do, right? This is something I've talked about a ton, and I'm stalling so that I can copy this link for you guys that are here live. There it is. I'm posting it in the chat. Good morning to everybody that is here. I appreciate you checking out the stream. Boom. There it is. I'm going to pin it. Okay. Step number 1. We talked about this a lot. Just jot these down, perhaps. You know, if you know me at all, you know that I'm rapid fire ADD. It's going to go quick. Record yourself. It's the number 1 tip that you should take in and start doing. Just record everything you do. You can always delete it if it's trash, but record it. Go back and catalog and keep all this stuff. Number 2, figure out what your goal is. And, maybe I should be writing these down. I guess I can review my own live stream later on. Figure out what the goal is and be selfish. Be particular to what it is that you want. Don't take the advice of other people saying you should do this or that when it comes to what you should learn on the harmonica. Do what you want to do. That's where you're going to find the most focus anyway. So write down the goals. So number 1 was record. I am going to write these down. Of course I don't have a pen. Why would I have a pen? I've got a phone. I can put it on my phone. Let's do this together because this will help keep me on track as I throw these out there. So this is my little note area practice. I said record everything. Obviously, you go back and evaluate and adjust as needed, but you're listening for what's working and what's not working. Tip number 2. Sorry, I'm distracted a little bit. Write down your goals. If you don't know what to write down as a goal, consider the following areas. Be specific. Start with maybe broad topics, but then eventually get specific. So a goal could be, I want to learn how to improvise in the context of blues harmonica, right? I want to be able to improvise. So now we got to be specific. I want to learn more about the scales in second position. I want to improve my bending. I want to learn about ear train. Get curious and write down everything that you believe goes to support those goals. What is it and use the chat right now. What is it that you guys are working on? Maybe I can help you in this short live stream. I say short, it shouldn't be too long. For me, I've always followed my instincts. I've never been a structured practice guy, even though that's something that I encourage other people to do. It's not how I learned, not until later in the game. So you can get there by taking more than one path. You don't have to do If you got together with a teacher, let's say, and they instructed you a certain way, you've been following it, but you're feeling stuck, well, then it's time to follow some other advice. So we got recordings, writing down goals. Okay. Practice sessions should be, in my opinion, this is a big one, should be relatively short the majority of the time, and occasionally really long when it feels right, when you're in the zone, when you have zero distractions and you are just, your brain is clicking. Most people lose focus after 20 to 30 minutes. They're not really accomplishing much. So consider your practice sessions to be 20 to 30 minutes at first. And if you can do multiple sessions a day, do that. By the way, I have a whole class that I created called Practice Sessions, showing you how to divide up various types of practice sessions. So I'll also link that later on in the video description, along with the upcoming practice class. All right. What did I just say? Somebody remind me in the chat. Gee whiz. I was up in the middle of the night. It's been a long night. So the length, that's what I was saying, 20 to 30 minute sessions. Now, what you do in these sessions matters, right? It shouldn't just be I'll do whatever. That means that most people, a lot of people like consider a practice session just jamming to a jam track. And I'm not saying that you can't learn that way, but it's certainly not the only thing you should and could be doing. It won't get you all the way there. So what you would want to do is consider the topics that relate to the goal. Keep getting more detailed. Task out the goals. That means writing down tangible things that you do in that session and writing out how much time you spend in each session. It means being detailed. Something that is not my strong suit, but I know it works. So you can write out for a 30-minute session, I'm going to do 5 minutes of a warm-up to a backing track. I'm going to do 5 minutes of breathing exercises. Then I'm going to do 10 minutes of scale work and 10 minutes of bass lines. That could be a good practice session. All related. So if it's scales in second, bass lines in second. Make it interconnected as much as you can. What's going on in the chat? Let me take a break. So we got 20 to 30 minute in length, and let's write break up the sessions and be detailed. That's key. The most important thing about a practice session is that it's fun, I think, because if it's not fun, you're not learning. You're going through the motions, but you're not engaged. So I did a lot of looser practice sessions. Let me talk a little bit about that. I have the mic thing on the phone. It's typing out everything I'm saying. Sometimes I did the thing with the jam tracks and just practiced and jammed on the tracks, right? And that was the whole thing. Sometimes I listened. I did a lot of active listening sessions where I would turn on songs and just listen intently and try to take notes, mental notes and written notes of what I heard. That can work really well. No water. Got some hot coffee in the other room. Go figure. I'm going to have to stand up and go get that in a minute. And other times I was getting together with other musicians and just playing music. That was practice. We were just jamming, but I was learning and I was trying to pay attention to what was working and what was not working. Let me just say hi in the chat. Hey, Thomas, good to see you. Thanks for being a member and being here. Same to Chris. Sweden Harmonica, Tim. Good to see all you here. Look at all these people hanging out with me. You got to see harmonica? Let's practice right now. Let's take a break from the list and let's play something. There's enough people here to where we can get something going on. Jared, what's up, buddy? Everybody go check out Jared's channel. Go subscribe. Great player. Great guy. How to play in a band and jam session, Phil's solo accompaniment. Frank, great topics. Let's pause on Frank's thing right there. Well, let's come back to it. Let's practice something, like I said, and then let's come right back where Frank's comment is in a minute. Let's practice something that I'm not going to do this Sunday in the practice class. So nothing related to pattern. I got some brand new ideas for the pattern recognition. I'm not just grabbing old class material. Some of it will be from class material, but I've got brand new stuff that I'll be sharing on Sunday. So let's practice this. Let's play the blues scale in second position. It's the most important thing. And if you're like, I already know the blues scale, do something more challenging. Make it sound like $1,000,000 with me on a C harmonica for a minute. 2 draw. 3 draw half step bend. 4 blow. 4 bend. 4 draw. 5 draw. And 6 blow. I saw Jason do a cool video on, I've also talked about this numerous times, on how to take scale work and make it more musical. Take scales and like consider the fact that when you're improvising, you're really just using primarily scale notes anyway. So don't treat the scale like this stale series of notes. Divide it up, change the order, jump around, but start in order. When you're riffing, you're almost, the majority of what you're hearing is almost always just the scale notes that you're feeding off of, if you haven't stopped to really analyze it and think about that. So I haven't played anything but the scale notes that we just outlined, and there's only 6 notes. The next note is repeated, the tonic, 2 draw and 6 blow. Here's another quick tip. I'm going to interrupt myself and just say, when you keep a journal, which I've talked about a lot, write out lots of things. Write out what you did that day, specifically in the practice session, and track it. So you have a record of what you did day to day, week to week. Go back and look. You're not just spending too much time on one thing or repeating one thing. Use it in that method, but also use it to write down terms like tonic note. That's what made me think of this. Write down what that means, the first and the last note of the scale. It is also the root note. It's also the key that you're in. Write those things out. Write down, have an area where you write down terms and definitions, right? Write down artists, write down licks that you learn. Write them out. The more you're writing, the more you're going to recall it anyway. Let's jump back into the question or the idea that Frank had real quick. He said, how to play in a band jam session. Well, as it relates to practice, you need to get together with real people and play. So I could argue that it's not really a practice thing other than the components that make up what you do when you actually play with other people in a jam session or a band setting, whatever. You wrote fills, solo, and accompaniment. So you just wrote out the terms that you need to explore. So how do you practice fills? Maybe you work with songs that don't have harmonica and you figure out those spots playing around the vocals carefully. How do you work on soloing? There's a million angles that I could list right here, but there's so many. Work on position work on ear training, work on scales. Everything relates back to your solo work. And then accompaniment goes along with fills and support. So work on rhythm playing, things like that. I'm not being specific, but I'm just kind of redirecting your statement into sort of how I might go about practicing it without telling you how to do it, I realize. Oh man, Agent Earth, that's terrible. He says, or she, I don't know. He says, as soon as my neighbor's kids hear me play one note, they start pounding their fists and feet on the walls. I'm screaming, shut up, shut up, shut up. And then I get 15 minutes of practice. When the weather's nice, step outside and get away from everything and practice outside. Go to a park where no one's around. Go somewhere. Get in your car and take a drive and practice. You're Squidward now. Okay. I practice now most how to comp myself when playing melodies. Tongue comp. Yeah, like. Things like that, maybe, where you got the rhythm and some of the chords going with your tongue blocking. There's so many angles there. Oh. Yeah, so Jason and Will said they practice 10, 12 hours a day. I did some crazy 10, 12-hour day practice sessions in myself, but here's what I learned from all that. I did say that when we started. I said most of your sessions should be short, but not all. And when you're really in the zone, go for it. I did those crazy long, like several hour practice or all day. I fell asleep with the harmonica like in my hands or in, like right here. I've fallen asleep with the harp because I played so long that I passed out. I've done that. And I agree that that can be very productive for some people. So you know it when you're in it and you're in that zone. I think the micro sessions are really helpful though. You can get super focused and targeted. What is a bass line? No, there are no stupid questions. That's a very fair question. Very fair question. A bass line is what the bass player is playing in a song. So there's variations of many different types of bass lines. The most common thing that we'll do on Sunday, one of these, is like a walking bass line. You can play it straight. You can double time, give it shuffle accent. And so on. Things like that. Yeah, it does have to be fun. And that's something I just mentioned too a minute ago. If it's not fun, you're not learning, most likely. You're kind of tuned out. You're half in, half out. So I'm going to do a whole practice class with the blues scale, and I'm going to do it based on the position when I do these. I might do one where we combine like three blues scales, 3 positions. That would be a cool practice session. So let me just toss out a quick idea for you then here. What's a good practice session to learn the blues scale? Take the notes and write them out. Step 1, have them in front of you. Play them to a metronome at a pace that feels comfortable in order. Play it halfway up and halfway down. Starting from the bottom, then the top. Then you can work with backing tracks and get creative with just using scale notes, kind of mixing up the order of those notes, and get really involved with the rhythmic potential, the accents that you can bring in, syncopation. Make the scale come to life. Make it feel like you're just improvising, but you're really practicing the art of just utilizing these scale notes. There's a whole bunch of other ideas for scales, but there's a couple things. Dude, what's up, Dan? That's right, the flow. John, good morning to you. Okay. Jam session recordings. It's like playing with the band. Yeah, that can work. As long as you have an angle. I think it makes a big difference if you've got an angle going on when you do that. Blues scale 3rd position on a C harp. So we're in D minor. Bring in octaves when you work scales. Don't just think single notes. So wherever it falls, where it's comfortable to bring that in. Practice is fun, Tim. I mean, it should be. I goofed off a lot. I feel like I spent a lot of time playing, which is what helped me progress, but I was chaotic. I think I could have gotten to where I am now sooner had I had taken some of my own advice that I'm providing you guys today. And the micro sessions, yeah, that's something that's just huge. I did this whole class called, I think it was called micro sessions or something like that. Again, I'll link it later in the video, but it was all about give me the actual practice session, Ronnie. Tell me what to do in this little 15, 20-minute chunk. And that's what it is. It's all these several ideas of what to do. So that class is, and again, Sunday's class is actually just going through the motions. Let's like get together. Think about when you take a class that's like a writer's group. This is what I put in my email, or like a exercise class that you do weekly. Why? You could do that at home because you're holding yourself accountable when you work with other people, and it feels like you're more part of like something where you're actually like something bigger is going on when you join a class. And again, it holds you accountable. And you paid to be in the class, so you're gonna if you can't make it live, you're gonna watch that recording at the very least and go through it. So that's my idea behind doing these regular twice a month practice sessions with rotating topics, is that I've been teaching you guys that I have 150 classes sitting on my website. Song studies, technique stuff, conceptual, improvisation, you name it. List goes on. And everyone's feedback is, Ronnie, the stuff's great, but I haven't had a chance to process it all. Well, that's where the practice sessions come in. We can take in things that support multiple classes and practice together. If I move this over here, I can just read it much easier. There we go. Oh, my dog's growling in the other room. She's very upset. I left her alone. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Micro sessions key for the complex lines. Yeah. In addition to focusing on playing clean, I've begun to also concentrate on staying as much on the beat as possible, and it's improved my presentation, I believe. That's great, Jeff. And thanks for being a member. Yeah. It's a great example of why we need these focus sessions. Let me go get this dog. I would like to come up with a way for Shella students to connect to help one another. Well, maybe I can connect the members. I'll put an email out to all the members to see who's in on sharing their email. Y'all hold on a sec. One moment, please. Stand by. What's going on, Grumpy? This little thing right here. She runs the show. We'll lay down. Maybe she'll give us a couple minutes here. Truthfully, she runs the show. She runs the show. This live stream could be cut short, as sad as that is to say. But we got to cover a decent amount of stuff. Let me give you one or two other quick tips for this every day. Every day this is happening. A couple other quick... Here, you can get down. Hopefully she'll just be content to be on the ground. I think another good tip would be... so you got the goals, you got the 20, 30 minutes, you got the sessions detailed and mapped out. You're recording. Those are the earlier things we mentioned in case you missed it. And they've got to be fun. Make them varied. Like if you do the same stuff all the time, don't do that. Get a pen and paper. Don't just type on your computer or your phone. We're all everything's on my phone. I get it. So I'm with you. But like something about having a pen in your hand and writing something out specifically will change your mindset for your approach, I feel like. So write it out. Write that stuff out. and see what happens when you are then looking at these ideas. You'll be able to quickly identify what's missing. On that note, let me just go back to my little tracks area. I mean, you could work on things like hand technique. All the techniques are options that people are not digging into enough, I feel like. All right. So here's some acoustic blues for you real quick. I'll practice various hand techniques for you on the way out today. So I'm switching up the type of hand technique. This live stream has been brought to you by Ronnie Shellis today. I gotta go. I appreciate all of you for being here live. I wish I could spend a little more time, but I've got a creature that has needs. This will be preserved forever, this little dog. Hold on. Come here. What? Come here. Say goodbye to everybody since you broke up the party. All right, Ava. Anything else you want to add? Okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Don't forget about the class. Check the video description. I'll update it with Sunday's class and with the cool practice sessions, micro sessions ideas class that I already did. And I'll see you on the next stream real soon. Adios.